is go ahead and go to Google Classroom, and your portfolio should be at the top, and so go ahead and just click on it to open it up. Now I need you to take your phone out and go ahead and take a picture of whichever group you're in. There are 3 groups in this class. This tells you what should be in your portfolio and in which order according to the group. So if you were on the potter's wheel for the first 6 weeks, everybody, as you can see, did the pinch pot creatures together, and then 12 of you started with your cylinders and bowls and plate. So if you were in that group, this is the stuff you should have in your portfolio in this order. If you did the pinch pot creatures and then started with hand building, you did your coil pot right after that, and then all these. So this is the order that your portfolio should be in. There may be 1 or 2 of you in this class that is in the Ceramics 2 group, and this is your project. As you can see, the final is worth 100 points. It is 10% of your grade. The 100 points is broken down into this. The portfolio is 40 points. Basically, it's 5 points per slide. And the essay is 60 points. What I'd like you to have done is the portfolio done before finals day, so that all we have to do on finals day is write your essay. So we're going to do this together now. Okay, like I said, go ahead and take a picture so you know what order. If you go to your portfolio, the very first thing you should have in your portfolio is a title slide. At the very least, your title slide should have Ceramics Portfolio on it and your first and last name. If you'd like to add more to that, you can. For example, if you want to put Spring of 2018, and if you want to put a picture in the background of your title slide, you can. It can be a picture of your work, it can be a picture of you working, a GIF of you throwing on the potter's wheel, or even just a different color. But be as creative as you want with the font and the images and the way that you arrange it. That slide alone is worth 5 points because it tells you whose portfolio it is and what it is. Next, everybody should have their pinch pot creatures as the next slide in there. In order to get all 5 points for each slide, you need to have the title of your assignment. You need to have a nice picture or multiple pictures of your project just against white paper, not on the table, not like on your couch. Just white paper in the background, and that's it. Looks very professional if you do it that way. And I have white pieces of paper on each table for you to do that. And you need to have all this information. If you don't have this information, I will take off partial points per slide. What this information does is it tells the person looking at your portfolio all about your artwork. This portfolio is very easily shareable. You can share it with anybody that you'd like. But also at the end of the semester, I send an email out to your parents and guardians and say, we made a portfolio. If you haven't seen your students' artwork and would like to, let me know and I can share their portfolio with you. A lot of parents email me back and say, yes, I'd really like to see it. Can you send it to me? So I do that. And so they might have a lot of questions when they're looking at it because you're probably not going to be sitting next to them when they're looking at it. And they might have some questions like, that's cool, how did you make it? That's cool, what kind of paint or glaze did you use on it? And you can explain to them that it's glaze, it's like a liquid glass, kind of here's how it works. I did some carving, here's how this works. This was made on the potter's wheel. This is the process for doing that. So any questions that they might have, your description and all this information should answer that. Be quick. The title is your own title that you come up with. The date, if you don't know the exact date, that's fine. Just have January 2018. That is specific enough. But your portfolio should be in chronological order so that the very first thing that you made this semester is the first slide and the very last thing you made this semester is the last slide. And hopefully you can see your progression and how your skills are growing as you look through your portfolio. The dimensions in this is the height, width, and depth. This is a 3-dimensional class, so everything that you make in here is going to have a height, width, and depth. So the cat is 3 inches by 4 inches by 6.5 inches deep. Okay, there are rulers up there and in the number 2 cabinet. The medium is what you use to make your artwork. So in this class, it's always going to be ceramic. In painting class, it might be watercolor or acrylic paint. For drawing, it could be charcoal or graphite. And the description should be a short paragraph explaining how you made it, what it is, what you were trying to do with it, a little bit about the processes, the glaze, any and all information related to that. On this one, I would explain that it has moving parts and it works like a bell. Next, if you were working on the potter's wheel for the first 6 weeks, your cylinders are going to be the next slide. These are 2 identical cylinders. Nice picture against white paper. Explain to me in the description that these were thrown on the potter's wheel. That is the appropriate term. It's called throwing on the potter's wheel. And remember that the appropriate term for putting them in the kiln is firing. They don't cook in the kiln, they fire. If you know what temperature or what cone it was fired at, that's good information. Next is going to be your matching bowls. A lot of people ask me, what do you do with this? This is where it should go. Okay? If you wrote down what glazes you used for each project, just take a picture of that piece of paper and put it either on the same slide as the matching bowls, or if you need to, create a new slide. There is a minimum number of slides for your portfolio. There is no maximum. You can add as many as you need if you want to write more, if you want to add more pictures, if you want to document more. So this is a good place for it. After that, you guys made your plates on the potter's wheel, and then we added a surface design that would communicate a message. So please be sure in your description to tell me about your surface design, whether it was carving or sgraffito or glaze trailing or applique or stamping. So there was a lot of options. Be sure to include that and a little bit about how you do that in the description. Yes.
So that would be like 2 slides.
Yes, so here's your plate, here's your artist statement, okay? So right after the plate slide, I added a new slide and just went to your Google Drive or Google Classroom and copied and pasted your artist statement and put it on this slide. It makes a really nice pairing for looking at your plate and then being able to read what your plate is about and a little bit about the message. Then should be your coil pot. This is another reason why the dimensions are important, because when you're looking at something, it's really hard to tell by picture how big it is. But you can read that this one is 13 inches tall, and that's a pretty good size for a coil pot. Then your box with a lid or a drawer.
What color is this?
Cinnabar.
Cinnabon?
Cinnabar. I like the view of this. I can see the corner of this box, which allows me to see a little bit of this side in the photograph and a little bit of this side in the photograph. So that is a good angle to take a picture of your box with. And the last project should be your self-directed ceramics project. She has a picture of it before it was fired and after it's fired and glazed. This is slip-soaked fabric, so describing the process is good. Now, if you need to add some more pictures, hopefully you guys know by now how to add pictures to your portfolio. But if you don't, you can go here, click on the slide you want to add a picture to. You go to Insert Image, and then go to your camera. Your camera will come up, and you can just take a picture of your project. After you're done taking a picture of your project, click Insert. And then be sure, if you got some of the background in the picture, to crop all of this information out. So click, didn't mean to click that, click Crop Image. Just drag the corners in, crop it. And now that it's cropped, you can make it nice and big. And then you might need to format some of it and make it a little bit brighter, or have a little bit more or less contrast. So you can do that with those tools, and that's one easy way to take a picture and add it. Alright, so again, you can share it with anybody that you'd like. Just go to Share at the top right hand corner. You can copy this link. This is the link to your portfolio. Just make sure you click Advanced and change who can view it. You can click anyone with the link. You can make it shareable so that anybody on the web can view it, or only specific people that you have shared it with. So just type in their email addresses or copy the link to share it. But that's how I share it. I just copy the link and send it to your parents. Alright, so again, the order is title, pinch pot creatures, 2 cylinders, matching bowls, plate, artist statement for your plate, coil pot, box with lid, and then the self-directed one. The minimum is 8 slides, and that includes the title slide. There is no maximum.